All right, we're here with Adam Cianciarulo. Good news is we're here for press day. The bad news is they shut us down on riding. So,
yeah,
on a day like today, you can actually learn a lot with altitude, figure out starts and a little bit of which gear you're going to start in, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think I know a lot from Salt Lake last year. It's pretty similar in elevation to the city, so starts will be good. I think if anything, it'll help keep the front end down a little bit, which is a lot of the times my bad starts, that comes from the front wheel coming up on me and then my legs flailing out a little bit. So I got good starts at Salt Lake last year, so I imagine they'll be the same. We'll go with that.
Did you get a chance to peek in there at all or not?
No, I haven't, but I'm definitely going to check it out before I head back to the hotel.
I was going to say, the photos we saw early on, I can't say I've ever seen a snow-covered Supercross track before.
Yeah, it's crazy, though. The people don't understand how good these Dirtworks guys are. You know, everybody's like, oh, did you bring your snowmobile, like this or that, like thinking the track's going to be just a complete, and I already saw a picture that Randy Meninga posted, and that, they took the tarps off the track and everything's like super dry underneath, looking like Glendale out there. So these guys do a great job with the track, and I imagine as long as we don't get any rain or snow the day of the race, the track will be sweet. So looking forward to that.
Being the warm-blooded Floridian that you are, man, it's supposed to be about freezing tomorrow night. What are you going to do to stay warm out there?
Well, I mean, I have been in California. I've been living in California since September, and it's been a pretty cold winter out there. I've ridden in some, it's going to be, I just looked at the weather, it's going to be about 40 degrees by the time our main goes off, if the weather's correct, which it normally isn't. But I've ridden in that quite a bit, actually, the past. So I think we'll probably just do some different stuff with the gloves. I know there's this spray that you can put on the gloves that like blocks out the air from getting in so our fingers don't get numb. Probably run a different, Scott has like a thermal goggle lens that we can run so it doesn't fog up. Other than that, everything's the same. It'll be fine, especially the adrenaline going. Everybody will be wearing jackets on the parade lap, and it'll be normal.
This far into the season, with the points lead, and does the pressure start ramping up, or you've kind of been there all season?
Yeah, I mean, I've had a really good, consistent year. I feel like I've shown really good potential and speed, and kind of even these last two races, like they haven't obviously gone great. I've lost points both races, but Seattle, I felt like I rode really well, rode within myself. And then Houston, we had some problems. I got a bad start in the second main, bonehead move. I just came in too hot, went off the track, and then you put yourself in a bad situation, and you know how that goes. But I never really panicked. Ultimately, I have just a lot more confidence in myself this year. It's been a while since I feel like I've gone to the gate knowing I can win every time. Even the last years, even from the outside looking in, where people would think, he's the guy, he's the favorite. Like last year, I'd be lying to myself if I didn't have full belief in myself last year, and this year I do. And I think the bike's even better than it was last year, and all that stuff. So that takes pressure off of me for sure. I have confidence in myself, and man, the last couple of years I've been about 12, 15 points down at this point. So I'm super tired to playing that game. I'd much rather be in the position I am now. Ultimately, we just have to execute a start, and if I just do my best the whole time, we'll be solid. So that's the way I'm looking at it.
But you got to play Frogger in Houston.
Yeah, that was crazy. Just kind of it's a weird jump. The way everybody was kind of going off the face, everybody was kind of opening up for that wall jump going into the sand, and Sean just moved over on me a lot, and he didn't do it on purpose. He didn't know I was there. But, I kind of tried to, push off him. It was just instinct, and luckily I was able to push off him a little bit so I didn't land right on it, because that's what I was scared of ultimately, was landing, you've seen it happen before, landing on top of his seat, and then I'm falling from this, and then I end up knocking myself out or something crazy like that. So it was an unfortunate deal. But like I said, I really felt great all night. Felt great in practice. First main event was super good, and I felt great in the last two mains too. And so I mean, it was just an unfortunate circumstance, but stuff happens, man. It's just dirt bike racing. So that's really my whole mentality going on these last two races. It's like, it's dirt bikes, and you take one race at a time. And obviously, I feel really confident going into Vegas. I mean, if we were all tied up heading into Vegas, that'd be fine by me. I feel great there. So we'll see how it goes this weekend.
Next up is Blake Baggett. Hey, nicely done last weekend. Get back on the podium.
Yeah, definitely. It was one of those rounds where I struggled a little bit in practice, but as the night went on, got a little better, and then by the main event, felt pretty good once we were a few laps into the main and just started clicking things off. But track was definitely technical, and things were happening quick, so had to be precise and try to push it. But that dirt was getting slippery and crumbly, so it was one of those ones where you had to be aggressive, but there was a certain point of the lean angle that you could attack the turns and stuff. So whoops got chewed out and just kind of rode it on in, but was trying to go work my way as far forward as I could.
Some of our experts in the forum said, you kind of took your time getting by Cooper, like you're being ordered to be back there or something like that.
Yeah, that's why they're the experts on the forum. I'm not trying to take their job anytime soon, so we'll let them keep being experts, and I'll keep doing my thing. But just was trying to make something happen, make something stick, and just want to be on the podium, not do anything to sacrifice a podium when it was the light was at the end of the tunnel right there, and just. It's one of those weekends where, of course, I wanted to go with Eli and get up there and battle with him for the lead, but it just didn't happen that way. I didn't have it at that moment to give it a run.
Well, you did make the move and got by, but actually, if you go too early, then he gets to watch what you're up to also.
Yeah, it depends. It can work both ways. So it can go in your favor if you go too early, or it can if you wait too long. So just one of those things where you never know.
What are you looking forward to here? I'm guessing you're not looking forward to the temperature.
No, not the temperature for sure. It normally it's warm. So when we're here, so just it's gonna be one of those nights where you're gonna wear an undershirt or something like that to stay warm, and you're gonna just be fighting the weather. So I think the track will turn out pretty good. Got a little sneak peek of that. And the dirt seems to look pretty good as well, so just going to be one of those things of staying warm. The warmer you are, you can react faster. When you get cold, everybody gets tight. So it's going to be the battle of being warm, but not too warm by the end of the main event.
How about for hands? With gloves and
snow gloves.
What do you do?
Snow gloves. I guess going to have to go down the fly collection and see what they got for the snowmobile collection, and that's what we'll be running.
All right, Eli, the good news is we get to come to Denver and race here, but man, what's with this weather?
Well, it's classic Colorado and Denver style, where it's 70, 2 days before the or whenever. And the next day it's 30 or 40 degrees and spitting snow. So it's going to be that way if you come in April or even May for this for the front range. So hopefully tomorrow we'll stay clear of it. It's going to be cold, that's for sure.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is one of the chillier races I can remember. So
yeah.
What do you change up for gear? I mean, normal your stuff's about as lightweight and vented as it gets. Mm-hmm. What do you do for that?
I mean, you want to keep your core warm. I think that's most important. So you got your good undergear, and then just being warm. I mean, he's got to be warm. Got to have that blood flowing before you go out. So being warm. Either way, it's tough. Like when it starts getting into the 30s, you start feeling it in your hands. Your eyes will start watering a little bit. So it's gonna be tough.
Last week was great for you. Obviously, that feeling you were looking for was there. How much has the bike evolved throughout the season?
We've made some change. So, but that's just part of starting out with a new generation of bike, right? Like you don't really know till you go racing, and that's it really. And you got to find your sweet spot, and then you got to go out there and make it happen as a rider, right? So last week was a combination of all that. Hopefully we can make it happen in the last three.
And obviously the injury at the beginning of the year didn't help. How much did that set you back, just even testing and development on this thing?
I basically missed the whole month of December, so that was another part of it. But with that being said, like you don't really know till you go racing too on what's going to really work for you with that race intensity. So it's tough to say, but that didn't help my confidence either, just as being a rider. So it took me a little bit of time to get back in the groove.
It's funny because I think we all tend to think of the riders as super confident guys and all that, but it can set you back.
Yeah, I mean, I broke my back. Like, I cracked my little wing there on my vertebrae, so those things stay in your head for a while. So yeah, unless you don't have much going on in your head, you're just human. You think about that stuff.
Good luck out there this weekend.
All right, thanks.
All right, what's up? This is Justin Bogle here. I'm interviewing Colt Nichols, and coincidentally, he's interviewing me as well. So, Colt Nichols, first things first. How are we feeling this weekend? Because you're looking great, and all these accessories that I'm seeing, we got the chain, we got the bracelet, we got the little pinky ring, we got some little beads on the wrist. I mean, is this indicative of the performance we're going to get this weekend? Vibes are up, you're looking great. What are we expecting?
Yes, to all the above. I was accessorizing really hard this weekend, as you can tell. So I feel great. I feel like I got a nice haircut. I got my beard trimmed up.
Shout out to OG Mike.
Shout out to OG Mike.
Riverside, California.
Yeah, Shipwreck Barbershop. What up? Trying to get a discount. But no, I feel great, and that usually translates into good riding. Got a fire outfit for tomorrow for the fit pick. So that, once again, translates to good riding. So, no, yeah, it feels great.
Awesome. Good to hear.
My question for you is, wait, what's your fit for tomorrow? What do you got? What do you got cooked up?
My fit for tomorrow isn't quite as, I guess, crazy as it's been in the last few weeks.
Okay.
I've went pretty big. My shoes cost way more than they should for someone that's on my pay scale. But for tomorrow, I'm keeping it pretty simple. I match really well. There's some very minor details that are some very small accents that are super extra that you're gonna appreciate.
Okay, I like that.
No one else is gonna notice, but it's fine. I do it for me.
Everyone needs to pick up on what we're putting down here. If you see something you like, let us know. If you don't like it, let us know as well. We like
comment,
that as well.
subscribe.
Yeah.
Follow at PackEMH on YouTube.
All the above. But on a serious note, we had a strong performance last weekend. Looked like you were getting through the whoops nice.
Oh.
I haven't even looked at the track this weekend. I don't know what it looks like. It looked a little snowy before, but I think she's probably going to be dry. Maybe like Nashville, maybe a little rocky. What do you think about that?
Actually, first off, thank you.
Yeah.
And your whoop comment, I appreciate, because you must not have watched me in the main event. I felt great all day.
Everybody did, though.
And then the bigger, shorter set, that was an oxymoron. The bigger set that wasn't quite as long, I basically doubled them all main event. So I felt good in the other set. But I had a great time. I really enjoyed the track last weekend. There was options in the rhythms.
Yep.
The drier dirt was kind of fun. Nice change of pace, not so ruddy. So yeah, I don't know. I rode a little bit this week, not a lot, but I'm feeling great. And
why would you?
Exactly. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly. Also, last question. It's looking a little rocky. Are we going to do handguards this weekend or no?
Absolutely not. And here's why.
Elaborate, please.
Allow me to elaborate. So the handguards look really cool, right? I've never been a handguard guy. When I was young, I was. I've not been a handguard guy for years, talking decades.
Okay.
But when I wore them at Seattle in one practice, my peripheral was tweaking. I was just staring at them the whole time I was riding.
Yep.
Whether this is the case or not, I felt like it affected my riding negatively. So, only because I was distracted.
Okay.
So
Makes
it's like
sense.
when a bird flies by you when you're hitting a jump and you're like,
You stare at it real
you're
quick.
like, ooh, bird.
Definitely.
It's one of those things.
Okay, so
no.
no on the handguards, but we're going to have a strong weekend. Two-pack EMH members. This is Colt Nichols and Justin Bogle coming live from Denver, Colorado,
Signing
Mile High
off.
Stadium.
Thank you, San Diego.
All right, while we're running around today, we didn't get Joey Savatgy, but we did find Bruce Stjernstrom, who can give us an update on what was cooking with him last weekend and maybe also on Austin.
Well, for Joey Savatgy, it was an unfortunate crash last week, and he was in a good spot. Went low side of the bike and hit his shoulder. When he hit the ground, it popped out. Luckily for him, it went right back in while he was still on the track. So he did go to the Alpine Medical Unit that night. They checked it, and it was back in already. So they confirmed that it went back in. He actually had an MRI done on Tuesday as well, just to reconfirm that everything's good. So he's sore, of course, and but he's planning to race this weekend.
It's funny because people always complain, hey, we don't get info real quick, but sometimes there's not info to give.
Well, we want to confirm. You can say, hey, everything's good. I mean, he left here, he was pretty sore, but I think he felt confident that, and actually I saw him at the airport the next day and he seemed a lot better already. So that usually means it's back in place and things are good. So, but it's still sore. I mean, you stretch everything and ligaments and some of the other soft tissue pieces in there, and it can be a problem. So, but that's why we had him, get an MRI to confirm that everything's good.
Just try first practice and see, or is he in for sure?
He's planning to race, but we never know what's exactly is going to happen. But that's the plan right now.
And for Austin?
Austin's not quite as good of result at this point. He did some damage to his ACL, but he's going to therapy twice a day. He is planning to race in New York. So, he's got some swelling or some bone bruising as normal in a situation like that. So it's nothing like out of the complete ordinary. Of course, we'd prefer it didn't happen, but it did, and we're in a position of trying to get him in shape so he can ride in New York and Vegas, the final two East Coast races.
The fortunate part is, with the way the schedule worked, he's actually got some time to rehab and take maximum advantage of that.
Actually, it worked out. If you want to say an injury worked out, which I don't know if I really want to say that, but it did. It was the best timing that we could have possibly had for at least making a good attempt at being able to be back and ready to go.